Alright, what is up guys? Welcome back to another video. Today's video, we're gonna go back to my roots. We're gonna do some slow b-roll, some nice shots, you know, those good old times. So we're gonna do a video like this, and today we will be taking a look at a keyboard called the Fancy 81. It was sent over by a company called Fancy Tech. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of them, so let's take a look at this keyboard together. We are first gonna start off with an unboxing. They have it well wrapped in a nice box. So once you open the box, you will be greeted with your 81 keyboard, and aside from that, they do include some accessory. First up, we have a user manual. We have a keycap and switch puller with a spare spacebar of a different color, and of course a braided USB-C cable. Very nice braid, USB-C, very nice. Here are some base specs that I can tell from looking at the box and what I can see with my eyes. It is a 75% keyboard with a knob that costs only $98. So that's what caught my eye, the price, and 75% with a knob. So that's really popular nowadays. 75%, you got your Fika, you got your Next Time 75, there are a bunch of 75% out there with a knob, but this only costs $98 and it's fully built. And the other thing that caught my eye was this nice little shape they have there. I think that little badge gives it a little more personality, and at a cheaper price, that's even better than all the plain looking 75% keyboards out there. So it does come with keycaps and switches. They come with some XDA profile keycaps. Not a huge fan of those, but we can swap them out anytime. As for the switches, I chose Gateron Pro Yellows. They offer a bunch of different other switches. They offer the Holy Dog switch, the Gateron Yellow Pros, Gateron White Pros, and the Kale Box Whites. So you can go tactile, clicky, or linear, all up to you. As for connection, aside from wired connection, they do triple mode connection. You can use your USB-C wire, you can use a 2.4 GHz receiver, or use Bluetooth. These are all inside the keyboard, and $98. Actually insane. The main chassis of this whole keyboard is made from plastic. At the back, you'll find some adjustable feet that I am also not a huge fan of, that kind of feet, but I don't use them. So if you guys actually do use them, then yeah, this keyboard does have adjustable feet. So let's go ahead and open it up. We're gonna take a look at the internal structure. We're gonna maybe upgrade it. Yeah. So I first start off by removing my keycaps. And of course, I wouldn't review this board if it wasn't hot swappable. And for those newcomers out there who are new to the hobby, hot swappable means that you can remove your switches and put them on anytime without any soldering. So this is a perfect board for any beginner out there as well. So yeah, hot swappable keyboard, I removed all my switches. After removing the switches, I wanted to disassemble the keyboard. That's when I realized there are actually no screws on this thing. So I would guess that it is not tray mounted or top mounted. So I first started off by trying to figure out how to remove that top cover and realized they use clips to hold the top frame to the bottom frame together. So I used a little bit of force and pried open the top frame. Now that we have everything torn apart, we're gonna run down the basic parts that is included. The bottom housing is actually a pretty smart move. It is not very thick actually, which is a very good thing because that means you wouldn't hear that hollow plastic noise, even without foam. As you can tell, there was no foam inside. The only thing you have inside is your Bluetooth battery. Moving on to our top housing, there is no screws whatsoever. So there are this silicone gasket. So this keyboard is gasket mounted. At $98, 75% with a mini badge, a knob. Hot swappable comes with keycaps and switches, and is gasket mounted with silicone. So yeah. Moving on, our PCB and plate is held together by 6 screws. I removed the 6 screws and now we have a silicone dampener. This silicone dampener goes between the PCB and the plate. I'm guessing that is why the keyboard sounds so muted at first. The stock keyboard sounds pretty muted. Hey, listen to this. So yeah, I will be removing this silicone dampener. I am not a huge fan of plate foam or silicone dampeners in between my plate and my PCB. They make the keyboard sound very muted. I'm not a huge fan. So we're gonna remove it. It's pretty thick. Aside from that, the PCB is a 5-pin hot swappable PCB equipped with Kale hot swap sockets. It is north facing however, which is why they provide it with XDA keycaps for those of you who worry about cherry north-facing interference. Personally, it doesn't affect me. I don't think I have felt a proper cherry north-facing interference in my experience of keyboards. So I'm just gonna use cherry profile keycaps. And to the beginners out there, do not bother researching about this cherry north-facing interference. Just do whatever you want for your first keyboard. You'll learn more about it as you get into the hobby. So I assembled the PCB and the plate back together, installed my switches back on. They honestly feel pretty looped to me. They feel very smooth and not scratchy at all. And for those of you wondering, the Garon Pro Yellows are actually one of the best budget switches out there. This is my first time trying them, and Budget Man gives a 10 out of 10 on them. They feel amazing. So yeah, the only mod I'm going to do is a tape mod. I taped the back of the PCB because it is a gasket mounted keyboard. I have no worries about any screws. I can just tape up that. Yeah, I can just tape without worrying about any screw holes whatsoever. That's pretty nice. After I taped the PCB, I installed it back into the bottom housing and put my top housing back together. So yeah, now all that's left is keycaps. I decided to change out the XDA keycaps. Not a huge fan, don't really like typing on them, they are very flat. So I installed a set of PBT Peaches. I actually love this set a lot. So go ahead, since I am doing an old-fashioned video, we're going to go back to the B-roll. Enjoy the cinematics. So we have come to the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This was a review of the Fancy 81. Thank you for... One thing I forgot to mention throughout the entire video is that I did not loop the stabilizers at all. The stabilizers were somewhat pre-looped with some permatags, and it's a pretty damn good job. It's pretty good job for stock stabilizers, you know. So yeah, for $98 US, it is a gasket mounted keyboard made from plastic with triple mode connection. Hot swappable, comes with keycaps and switches. Insanely well looped stabilizers, and I'm pretty sure these switches are looped as well, so that's very nice. So yeah, I would give the keyboard a solid 8.5 out of 10. I'm just not a huge fan of the silicone gaskets and the silicone dampener you guys added in, but for those of you who enjoy that, the personal preference, you know. So yeah, if you guys are interested in this keyboard, go ahead and check out the link in the description down below. $98 US, pretty worth it. Might be your first keyboard. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.